Tackle Junkies, what's going on, fellas? Real appreciate you guys clicking on the video. Today we're talking rods and reels. Now, we had just finished up the Ultimate Tackle Bag series. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely check it out. I always get this wrong. It's either like 6 or 7 videos, something like that. They'll all be linked down below, from all the boxes that we used to all the accessories we added to the bag, loading the bag. All those videos will be linked down below. Definitely check them out. But moving on from that series, I wanted to do a couple more videos. One on rods and reels, for the beginner. What few combos do you need to have in your arsenal? Okay, you don't need to have, 35 rods and reels. What few rods and reel combos do you need to get it done as a beginner? Okay, we're going to talk about that in the next video. We're going to go over what line you should be using, so keep a lookout for that one as well. But guys, like I said, truly appreciate you guys clicking on the video. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel yet, definitely consider subscribing. Don't forget to ring that bell, that way you guys are notified every time I release a new video. Smash the thumbs up, leave some comments down below. Let's hop into it. One thing I wanted to mention before we get going, this is the Calco Fishing Rod Mule. Fantastic way to transport your rods from one place to another, whether it be from your house to your car to your boat. If you're going to transport your rods, do it with the Rod Mule. Throw it over your shoulder, have your hands free to be able to carry other equipment. I have a video on this, which I will link down below. Definitely check it out with a discount code as well. All right, fellas, we're gonna try and narrow this down to 3 rods, possibly 4 or 5, but you guys will kind of see where I'm going with that, okay? Now, this particular rod here is a medium power fast action rod, okay? Now, before we go any further, for me, when I'm choosing just a few rods to go to one place or another, it really depends on time of year, where I'm going, how I like to fish, okay? Here at the ponds, I'm not going to bring the same 3 rods that I would bring to a bigger lake that's got rock. Okay, we will get into more of that here in a minute. But one rod, I believe, no matter where you go, you can get a lot of use out of. And it's great for beginners as well, especially if you guys are kind of intimidated by a bait caster. A spinning combo would be the way to go in a medium power fast action rod. This particular rod here is from Akuma. It's an Akuma EVX. Great rod here, and this one is a 7'1". Like I said, medium power fast action. Great for all your finesse rigs and just lighter weights in general, from wacky rig, drop shot, shaky head, Nico rig, little ball heads with swim baits, small swim baits, finesse jigs. I mean, just smaller, lightweight rigs. You're going to want a spinning rod, medium power, fast action. Okay, I do have a 3000 size reel on here. I run 3000 across the board, even for like, crappie and all that. I just like a bigger reel, more comfortable in hand for me. Of course, it holds more line than I'm going to ever need, especially if I'm pan fishing with like 4-pound test. But I just like the bigger reels. And like I said, a bigger spool will give you less line issues on the water as well. But like I said, we're not really talking about reels right now. Rods, number 1, 7 foot to like a 7'2". I really wouldn't go any longer than that, because if you are a bank angler, if you go too long, you'll spend more time in the trees, than in the water. So I would keep it kind of short if you are a bank angler. Again, this one here is a 7'1", medium power, fast action, finesse, lighter weight rigs. Number 2, medium heavy, fast action. This particular rod is an Akuma Helios Sx. It's in a 7'3". But again, like we said earlier, anywhere from like a 7 foot, 7'4". But if you are a bank angler, again, I would definitely lean towards the shorter rod so you don't end up in the trees. But like I said, 7 foot, 7'4", medium heavy, fast action, super versatile rod. Texas rigs, jigs, weightless rigs, spinner baits, chatter baits, buzz baits, flukes. I mean, you name it, you can throw it on a medium heavy fast. And what's nice about this rod, it's right there in the middle. So if you need to actually beef it up a bit, you can put on some braid. If you need to soften it a little bit, you can put on mono. So it's right there in the middle, and you can kind of change the power and action of the rod just with changing your line around. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But either way, I mean, for the most part, I'm usually running, fluorocarbon on my medium heavy fast rods, and we're going to get into line next, so keep a lookout for that video as well, as far as the most versatile line for the beginner. But like I said, man, medium heavy fast action rod, super versatile rod. You know, definitely have 1 or like 7 in your arsenal. Okay, now number 3 is going to be kind of the debate, and like I said, there's no wrong answer to this. It really just depends, you know, time of year, where you're fishing, okay, and really how you like to fish. So a good example, like right now, it's like, you know, we just thawed like a week ago, water temps probably mid 40s. You know, like I have a cranking rod out here, okay. Now, to be honest, guys, I do not really crank much at these ponds. There's a lot of grass in these ponds. It's not worth the aggravation out here for me to crank. For as much as I like to do it, I just do not do it out here. So for me, for a third rod out here at the ponds, it would not be a cranking rod. Now, if I'm going to go, we'll say with phantom fishing, we're going to go to a bigger lake that's got some rock. Okay, definitely the medium power fast, the medium heavy fast, and then this cranking rod here, which is a 7-foot, it's an EVX as well, Akuma EVX, 7-foot, medium heavy. It's got a moderate fast action to it, a slower tip, and you want that slower tip anytime you're messing with treble hook type baits. It allows the fish to get the bait a bit better. It just helps you fight the fish better as well with those smaller hooks. Just keeps them from tearing out. Just keeps the fish pinned. The rod doesn't unload as easy. So you want that softer tip when you're using, like I said, treble hook type baits. But like I said, out here, it would not be my third rod of choice, but out with a buddy where there's some rock, it definitely would be. I can throw all my treble hook type baits on here, from cranking to top water. My medium heavy fast will do all my power fishing type baits from Texas rigs and jigs and things like that, spinner baits, chatter baits. And then of course I have my medium power for my finesse fishing, smaller, you know, lightweight rigs. So those 3 rods would be great at a different lake. But out here, this time of year, you know, I prefer this particular rod here, which is an Akuma rod as well, TCS. It's a 6'9". It's an all-purpose type rod. It's a medium heavy with a moderate fast action. Now, it's not as soft as a cranking rod, but it still has a softer tip to it. It's great for moving type baits. I love it for spinner baits, chatter baits, underspins. You know, underspins and chatter baits is something I throw a lot right now at the pond. So for me, my third rod out here would be a rod, you know, like this. So like I said, it's kind of hard to pick that third rod for me, just depending where I go. Summertime, you know, I don't do a whole lot of finesse fishing out here. I'm more power fishing with Texas rigs, you know, jigs, spinner baits, things like that. So for me out here, summertime, I might go with 2 medium heavy fast casting rods, and then I might go with a heavy power with either a fast action or a moderate fast for frogs. I'm going to say for me, for the most part, if I'm not out here at the ponds with all the grass, you know, the 7-foot one that I showed you guys first, the medium power fast action spinning rod, then the second rod, the medium heavy fast casting rod. That and a cranking rod would be my top 3 at a lake with rock. And out here at the ponds, I would say my top 3 would be the first 2 that we mentioned, and then more of a moving bait rod, like I said, for spinner baits, chatter baits, or underspin. So like I said, really depends, you know, where you're fishing, time of year. And like I said, summertime, I'm going to want that frog rod. So, but for the most part, you guys kind of get the idea. You can't go wrong with a medium power fast action spinning rod, and you can't go wrong with a medium heavy fast action casting rod. Those 2 are a must. And from there, I would just kind of figure out how you really like to fish. I wanted to talk about reels real fast as well. I try to keep it pretty simple with gear ratio. Okay, for the most part, guys, you guys know I love a 6-speed reel. I feel it's the most versatile. I love the power of a 6-speed. I can speed it up, I can slow it down. I have many videos on gear ratios, which I will link a couple of those down below. But like I said, for the most part, I like a 6-speed reel. But kind of a rule of thumb for me, if I'm using the rod to work the bait, I like a 7-speed, so I have a bit faster reel to help me pick up the slack. If I'm strictly pitching and flipping, I'll go to that 8-speed. And for all my moving baits and just a good all-around gear ratio, I like that 6-speed. So guys, hopefully that video helps you out. Hopefully it didn't confuse you guys. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up, leave some comments down below. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.